Hello. So good afternoon, everyone. In last lecture, we have seen the carrier aided protection. So in that, we have seen that we are using some extra devices, just like a carrier current transmitter, receiver, power amplifier. Okay, means these devices are there. These are the coupling capacitors. So when we are using these devices, means these are again used for the protection purpose. Okay, and how these are used, we have seen that in last lecture. Okay, so there are some advantages of this carrier aided protection. So the first advantage is with the carrier current protection, very fast fault clearing is obtained. Okay, means the relay operation will become very fast. Okay, means the clearing time. Okay, fault clearing time is also very fast. Means fastly the arc will be quenched and the fault will be cleared there. Okay, then second is the tripping of circuit breakers at both ends of the line takes place in about 1 or 3 cycles. Means very less time is required there. Okay, the time required is in milliseconds there. The time required for is in milliseconds. Okay, so the tripping of circuit breaker, actually what happens when the relay will sense the fault, then it will send the signal to the circuit breaker that the circuit breaker has to open the circuit. Okay, so when this circuit breaker opens the circuit, that time as there is high current and the circuit get opened. So at that time what happens, the arc production is there. Okay, arc production is there, and we have to extinguish that arc. Okay, so it takes some time. Okay, it takes some time. So this tripping of these circuit breakers at both the ends means then these circuit breakers will immediately trip. Okay, so when that get trip, that tripping time is about 1 to 3 cycles only. Okay, 3 cycles only. Then hello. So here, due to this stability of power system is improved. Okay, means if any fault is recovered uh, within few seconds only, within few microseconds only, then the system will be stable, more stable. Okay, then fourth advantage is simultaneous reclosing of circuit breaker is possible as reclosing signal is sent simultaneously. Okay, means as the faults get cleared fastly, so means again that circuit breaker will get reclosed. Okay, means simultaneously that process will be going on there. Okay, the next one is it prevents shock to the systems as faults are cleared rapidly. Okay, so uh, means if as the faults will be cleared very fastly, so it prevents shock to the system. Shocks to the system means whatever be the instabilities happening for the uh, power system lines, that is the transmission lines. Okay, that so that will be prevented, okay, by this carrier aided protection. Now, next one is for operation of circuit breaker to be faster relaying is necessary, which is achieved through carrier aided protection. Carrier aided protection. Okay, means what? Actually, that signal is whatever be the fault is occurring. That fault is first sensed by the relay only. Okay, so for the faster operation of circuit breaker, also the faster relaying means the relays the fault sensing by the relay is also necessary, and that is also achieved by this carrier aided protection. Okay, so these are the advantages of carrier current protection or carrier aided protection. Okay, now means what actually happens, it firstly it reduces the time of operation of circuit breaker, and as well as simply the relay. Okay, and it makes the system stable. Okay, these are the advantages of this carrier aided protection system. Okay, then next point is the electromechanical impedance relay. Okay, electromechanical impedance relay. We have already seen the electromechanical overcurrent relays. So can anyone tell me uh, how these relays are operating? Electromechanical overcurrent relays. Overcurrent relays means what? We are simply comparing the current. Okay, means the current value is set. If the current is what when any fault will occur, so if that fault current is more than the set value, then only your relay is operating. Okay, so we have seen all the overcurrent relays. So also we have seen the electromechanical overcurrent relays. So now this is the electromechanical impedance relay. Now impedance relays are used for the distance protection. Impedance relays are used for the distance protection. So here, see this diagram here. So this is one transmission line. One transmission line is there. Concentrate everyone. It is important. So this is one transmission line. So in that transmission line A to B, we are considering one zone. That zone is A to B. Okay, this is zone 1. Okay, consider this as zone 1. Now tell me, what is the percentage in zone 1? Percentage of protection in zone 1? What is the percentage of protection in zone 1? Yes, we have seen this in last lecture. Amruta, Anushka. So in zone 1, we are protecting. Ankita, correct. It is 80%. Okay, 80%. Remember. So in zone 1, we are protecting 80% of the line. Okay, 80% of line. So here we are considering this A to B section. Okay, and we are using the zone 1 protection here. Okay, now consider the fault is occurred at this X point. Okay, the fault is occurred at this X point. Now the total impedance from point A to B is ZL. Total impedance from point A to B is ZL, and when the fault will occur, the impedance is ZF. Now here you can see this is the electromechanical relay. Now in this electromechanical relay, we are taking we are taking the current transformer. Here the current transformer is used, means whatever be the fault current will flow, so that will be given to the relay through this current transformer, or by using this current transformer. Okay. Now this current transformer is connected to the there are two coils. Okay, so the first is the operating, or this operating coil is there, and second is the restraining coil we have seen. So like this in electromechanical relays, these are the two coils. First is the current coil here, and second is the voltage coil is there. Okay, so two electromagnets are there. Now what happens actually, this will act, this voltage coil will act as a restraining coil here. Okay, this voltage coil will act as a restraining coil. So there is one spring, and what happens, due to that spring, this spring holds this what we can say, holds this bar in this direction. Okay, in this position, so that so that the relay contacts will always be open. Okay, so that the relay contacts will be open there. Okay, relay contacts are open there. Now when the fault will occur, when the fault will occur, so is this clear up to this point, how the diagram is? So here we are considering one transmission line. Section A to B is considered. Total impedance is ZL. Then when fault is occurring at point X, okay, here that fault is shown. So whatever be the impedance produced, that impedance is ZF. Okay. So when that fault is occurring, this is the relay. This is the electromechanical relay, and it is having two coils. First is the current coil, second is the voltage coil. And this voltage coil is nothing but your restraining coil. Okay, so when that restraining coil it's simply stretching this arc in its direction only. Okay, so that the relay contacts are open, so that the relay contacts are open. But when the fault will happen there, or when the fault will occur, then current will flow through this current transformer. Okay, through this current transformer, and the that current will be high. Okay, that current will be high, and this is the impedance relay. Impedance relay means what? This ZF is the fault impedance. When fault will occur, the impedance produced is ZF, and this Z is equal to V divided by current I. So this voltage is the fault voltage, and this current is the fault current. Okay, it is ZF is equal to VF divided by IF. Okay, so when that fault will occur, your current will increase. Okay, your current will increase, and if your current increases, your impedance will decrease there. Okay, your impedance will decrease. Now if that impedance decreases, okay, remember, if the impedance decreases, then your relay will operate, because here it is not the overcurrent relay, it is impedance relay. So in overcurrent relay, what happens? We are setting some current. So if the fault current is above this set value of current, then your relay is operating. But here this is impedance relay. This is impedance relay. And what is happening here? What is happening here? When the fault current will increase, what happens here? What is the effect on impedance? What is the effect on impedance when the fault current will increase? So when this fault current will increase, your impedance decreases. Means actually the set value of the impedance for this impedance relay is ZL. Okay, set value is ZL. L. But as the fault is occurred here, your impedance is decreased up to ZF. Okay, your impedance is decreased up to ZF here. Okay, means this fault impedance ZF is less than this ZL. Okay, is less than this ZL. Now your relay will start operating. Okay, now your relay will start operating. Okay, means now what happens when this current flowing through this current coil increases, uh, this ZF will decrease. Okay, this fault impedance will decrease, and if this decreases, this signal will be given to the trip circuit. Means your relay contacts get closed here. Relay contacts get closed, and it is given to the tripping purpose. Means it is given for to the circuit breaker. Okay. So is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now we'll see the next point. Now this is the static impedance relay using amplitude comparator. Okay, using amplitude comparator. So all of you see the diagrams correctly. Here we are using electromechanical relay, and now here it is the static impedance relay. Again, it is impedance relay, but it is static impedance relay using amplitude comparator. Okay, now what happens here? Here we are considering, or we are simply, its name is itself saying that we are comparing the amplitude. Okay, we are comparing the amplitude, and here it is a rectifier. Okay, there are two rectifiers. So this is a bridge rectifier. Okay, a bridge rectifier is used here. Means a rectifier bridge comparator is used here. Okay, so we are simply realizing the characteristics of this impedance relay. Okay, so here actually uh, uh, this we are comparing this current I with this voltage. We are comparing the current I with the voltage, and here this current I is the operating quantity and V is the restraining quantity. So we know that there are two coils in electromechanical relays. One is the operating coil and second is the restraining coil. Restraining coil means, or restraining quantity means what? It holds your relay in normally in open condition when under normal conditions. Okay, or simply under normal conditions, this restraining coil uh, keeps this relay in open position. Okay, but when the fault will occur, your operating quantity or operating current will be more. Okay, operating quantity will be more, so that the relay contacts get closed. So here actually this is for the electromechanical relays, but here we are using this as a quantities. Means operating quantity and restraining quantity, that is I and V. Okay, that is I and V here. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are comparing these two quantities. Okay, so as this we are using this as a comparator. So first it is supplied with operating current I0. Okay, so here you can see that current is there, transformer is there, and then whatever be the current flowing through the rectifier is I0. Okay, this is the bridge rectifier. All of you know the operation of this bridge rectifier. Okay, so it rectifies the current. Okay, it rectifies the current because this is from transmission lines. We are taking AC, so we have to convert that into DC. Okay, then that is rectifier, and it is seen, you can see that current is here. Then second is the voltage. Okay, voltage terminal is there. So this current quantity, that is nothing but your operating quantity. That is nothing but the operating quantity, and this voltage is your restraining quantity. Restraining quantity. So this operating quantity, that is current I, is proportional to the load current. Means if that fault will occur, okay, means whatever be the current given to the load, okay, that I zero will be proportional to that load current, and this IR is proportional to the system voltage. Okay, so when we are giving this voltage as a restraining quantity, so whatever be the current will flow through that current will be IR. Okay, now here these two quantities will be compared. Okay, these two quantities, actually again we are using the same principle, that is Z is equal to V divided by I. Okay, so and if that impedance will be less, okay, if that fault impedance will be less than the set impedance, then only your relay will operate here. Okay, means these two quantities will be compared here. I0 and IR will be compared here, and whatever if this operating quantity, okay, if this operating quantity IR, sorry, if the operating quantity is I0, okay, I0 is the operating quantity, and this IR is your restraining quantity. So if your operating quantity will be more, if this operating quantity is more, it means that your Z impedance is less. Okay, if this operating quantity is more and impedance is less, then your relay will operate. Okay, your relay will operate there. Okay, so this is the static impedance relay using amplitude comparator. Okay, is this clear? What is static impedance relay? समजलंय का? Yes or no? Okay. So what we are doing here, static impedance. Static means no mechanical part is there or no moving part is there. Okay. So here we are using one simple transformer, then a rectifier unit is there, and these currents and will be compared, means the impedance will be compared with the set impedance, and your relay will operate if the set impedance, if the fault impedance is less than the set impedance there. Okay. Now the next point is the microprocessor based relays. Okay, so there are different relays, microprocessor based relays are there. So first one is the impedance relay. Okay, impedance relay. Then second is the reactance relay, and third is the mode relay is there. We have seen these relays. Actually, we have seen the impedance relay, reactance relay, and mode relay also. That is the general relay. Okay, general relays. But these are the microprocessor based relays. Then what are the advantages of microprocessor based relays? Yes, what are the advantages of microprocessor based relays? Why we are using these relays? I told you what are the advantages of static relays, microprocessor based relays over electromechanical relays? Yes, anyone? Yes, high speed. Correct. Correct. That is the main advantage. Okay. So these microprocessor based relays are having high speed of operation. Okay, high speed of operation than the static relays and the static and electromechanical relays. And second is the compact size. Correct. Correct. So that's why we are using the microprocessor based relays. Now, actually, your circuit diagram is same here. Okay, actually, the circuit diagram is same here. Whatever we have seen, block diagram is same. So we have seen this in the general microprocessor based relays also. Okay, we have seen all the microprocessor based relays and static relays also, but that was a general review. Okay, general review was there. There which quantities comparing? We were comparing the current there, because we have seen that for the over current relays, but here we are using here the impedance relays, reactance relays, and more relays. So here for the impedance relay, we consider the impedance relay first in microprocessor based impedance relay. Then here we have to compare the impedance here. Okay, so that's why we consider two quantities. That is, first is the current and second is voltage here. Okay, so here you can see the diagram. So first is the current quantity. Okay, this current quantity is given to the filter. Okay, current quantity is first given to the filter, means whatever be the whatever be the current and voltage taken from the transmission line. Okay, by using your CTs and PTs. So here that is filtered because this is AC quantity and they are having so many harmonics. Okay, so these harmonics are removed by using this filter. Okay, so this filter circuit is used. Then the next block is the I to V comparator. Okay, I to V comparator means it is current to voltage comparator. Then next is the rectifier. Okay, then that AC quantity is rectified, that is converted into DC. Okay, and then it is given to AM3705. This AM3705 is nothing but, so anyone can tell me what is this? Which one? Which block is that? That AM3705 is this is the multiplexer block. We have seen that. Okay, but we have seen that multiplexer block also. Okay, so similarly, that voltage quantity is again given to the filter, then it is rectified and given to the multiplexer or mux. Okay, then it is given to the sampling and hold circuit. Okay, and then to analog to digital converter. Okay, analog to digital converter. So at this multiplexer, so whatever quantities given are again converted into more output signals, and by using sample and hold circuit, it is given to A by D converter or analog to digital converter. Okay, now after that conversion, that digital quantity is given to the microprocessor. So what the microprocessor does here, what microprocessor does, again this is the impedance relay. Okay, again, this is the impedance relay. Actually, here also there is set value of this, set value of the Z. Okay, this is the set value of Z. Now, if the fault will happen, if any fault will happen, okay, that current will increase there. Okay, that current will increase there. So if that current increases, if the fault current increases, then automatically your fault impedance will decrease. And here that comparison is done here. That comparison is done here. That is that fault current is should, if it is less than the set value of this Z, then your relay will operate there. Okay, then your relay will operate there. So this is the trip signal. This is the trip signal given. Okay, this is the trip signal given, which is given to the circuit breaker. So this is operation of the microprocessor based impedance relay. So here in previous ones we were checking the current. These were the microprocessor based over current relays. Okay, so in over current relays we are checking the current. Okay, current. But here in microprocessor based impedance relays, we are checking the impedance. Okay, or we are simply comparing here the impedance. So all of you understood this one? Yes or no? Okay. Now, okay. Now next is the flow chart. Actually, when they will ask in examination also, okay, when they will ask in examination, you no need to explain, means all the ports, etc. Okay, so you have to explain there only the main parts. Okay, only the main parts, means you don't explain here the port A is there, uh, then port C is shown, port B is shown. Okay, likewise, you just don't compare there. Okay, or don't explain likewise there. Okay, so here you have to only explain the block diagram. Okay, block diagrams means what your filter is doing, what your rectifier is you doing, then this is your multiplexer is there. Okay, so screen is not visible. Okay, just wait. Okay, now visible. So here just explain the blocks only. Okay, you can explain only the blocks, and in notes everything is there, so no need to worry. Okay, now the next point is the flow chart here. Okay, this flow chart is important. Okay, so everyone remember this. Okay, this flow chart is important, and when it is different for if you understand this flow chart, then you will easily explain the block diagram. Okay, so first is the start. Okay, first is start, then initialize IO ports. Then which are the IO ports? Which are the IO ports here? Anyone? Which are the IO ports? First is the voltage, first is the current and second is the voltage. Okay, signals we are giving, then from by using that analog to digital converter. Okay, we are giving input. Okay, and from port B we are giving output to the circuit breaker. Okay, means to the trip signal. So these are your IO ports. So first initialize this IO ports, then its fault in forward direction. Okay, means whatever fault is occurred, is that fault is in forward direction. If that fault is in forward direction, okay, then read the VDC. Okay, means we have to check VDC. Okay, check VDC, then convert into digital quantity. Okay, then convert into digital quantity. Okay, so that VDC uh, to the below line that was given. Okay, and this is your current quantity. Okay, so when we rectify this, okay, when we rectify this, we get here VDC. Okay, VDC, and it is again given to the microprocessor. So uh, uh, so if that fault is in forward direction, now if the fault is in forward direction, then read that VDC, read that VDC, then convert into digital quantity. Okay, read that VDC and convert into digital quantity. That is, we are using analog to digital digital converter. Then store in the memory, store in the memory, and then read IDC. Okay, then read IDC. Okay, this current, it is again rectified. Okay, so we get here IDC. Okay, so again we are converting this IDC by using ADC. Okay, and then it is again stored in the memory. Okay, it is again stored in the memory. Then uh, so uh, after that, calculate Z. Okay, means I told you that here there is calculation of this Z, and that Z will be compared with the set value. Okay, that Z will be compared with the set value. Okay, so we are getting here the current and voltage as input signals, current and voltage as input signals. From that your Z will be measured or calculated, and that Z is measured as this Z is equal to V divided by I. Z is equal to V divided by I. By using this formula, we can measure this Z or calculate the Z. Then is this Z less than Z1? Okay, if this Z is less than Z1, now why it is Z1? Because we are considering the different zones of protection. Okay, we are considering the different zones of protection here, right? So how many zones are there? So is the diagram clearly visible? Is diagram clearly visible? Okay, so just tell me, so how many zones? 3 zones are there. Okay, right. Zone 1, zone 2 and zone 3. Now in zone, what is the percentage set for the protection? For zone 1, 80%. For zone 2, no, it's not 65, it is 120%. Okay, it is 120%. Okay, means in zone 2 actually the remaining 20% of zone 1 and the extra 20%, sorry, it is 1 plus 40%, right? Plus extra 40%, right? So uh, in zone 2, the protection is 120%. Then above that in zone 3, okay, means why actually we are setting the zones? Because there the time of operation is also increased, means a time graded system is used here. Means what? In zone 1, your relays are operating instantaneously, right? Your relays are operating instantaneously, means without taking any time. In zone 2, your relay will operate after some time, means almost the time of 0.2 milliseconds is given there. So in within that time only your relays will operate in zone 2. And in zone 3, the relays will operate after zero point 0.4 or 0.5 milliseconds. Okay, so these are the zones of protection. So here we are first considering the first zone. Okay, one zone we are considering, zone 1, where we are protecting 80% of your transmission line. So here, if this Z, if when we are calculating this Z, that is the fault impedance. Okay, and if that Z is less than the set value of impedance in zone 1, okay, this Z1, Z1 is the set value of impedance, in zone 1, okay. So if this Z, that is the fault current, if that Z, fault impedance, if that Z is less than the Z1, then your, what will happen? Your relay will operate instantaneously. Okay, means here you can see, if this is yes, then what happens? The signal is given here, means your relay will operate. Means the signal is sent to the send trip signal. Okay, means it sends the trip signal, means to the circuit breaker to open the contacts. Okay, then next, again we will jump here. And if it is no, means what? If the fault impedance is not less than this Z1, then go to the next step, that is again compare this impedance, that fault impedance, with zone 2 set impedance. Okay, जे झोन 2 मध्ये जो इम्पिडन्स सेट केलाय त्याच्याशी कंपेअर करायचं आता फॉल्ट इम्पिडन्स. ओके, सो अगेन इफ दिस फॉल्ट इम्पिडन्स Z is less than the set impedance in zone 2, जर झोन 2 मध्ये जो इम्पिडन्स सेट केलाय त्याच्यापेक्षा जर फॉल्ट इम्पिडन्स कमी असेल, again by providing here delay, you can see the delay is provided right now. When the relay in the first zone operates, that relay operates instantaneously. बरोबर ना? That relay is operating instantaneously. Is any delay provided? Is any time delay provided? No, right? That relay is operating instantaneously. But when we are using zone 2 and zone 3, there we have to provide some delays. Okay, so after some delay, that relay will operate. Okay, that relay will operate, and then again it will send the trip signal to the circuit breaker. Okay, then again if this Z, okay, म्हणजे that fault current is not less than the set value of impedance in the zone 2, then it is coming here to zone 3. Okay, again we will compare this fault impedance with zone 3 impedance with zone 3 impedance. Okay, here zone 2 and here it is zone 1. We'll compare this impedance with zone 3 impedance. Then if this impedance, okay, if this impedance, it should be, okay, because it is in between the means the impedance is set very low uh, as compared to zone 1 and zone 2. Okay, so again if impedance is less than the that is the fault impedance is less than the set value of impedance in the zone 3. Okay, then again some time delay will be provided there. Time delay will be provided, and then that signal will be sent to the circuit breaker. Okay, again by using this jump there will be same process. Okay, and if it is no, again the same process will be continued there. So flowchart समजलाय का सगळ्यांना? Flowchart important आहे. So from this only you can explain your diagram. Or if you understand this flowchart, it is easy.
हाँ मैम समझ.
Okay. So just wait. Okay, repetition is necessary. Okay, एक मिनिट सांगते परत एकदा. Okay, now I'll explain in Marathi. Okay, पहिल्यांदा काय start. Initialize IO ports. Actually प्रोसेसरचे आपण वेगळे आहेत, पण आपण काय करतो ऍक्च्युली करंट आणि व्होल्टेज इनपुट देतोय. ओके, करंट आणि व्होल्टेज ऍज अ इनपुट देतोय, बरोबर ना? सो पहिल्यांदा काय करतो आपण, तर फर्स्ट स्टेप इज फॉल्ट इन फॉरवर्ड डिरेक्शन. ओके, दिस इज द फॉल्ट करंट अँड व्होल्टेज. ओके, म्हणजे जेव्हा फॉल्ट एखादा ऑकर होईल, तो फॉल्ट झाल्यानंतर आपण हे जे सिग्नल्स आहेत ते प्रोसेसरला देतो. ओके, so if that fault is not in forward direction, then again you can repeat the process. But if that fault is in forward direction, if yes, then read VDC. आपण काय बघितलंय, जेव्हा आपण इनपुट देतो, इनपुट दिल्यानंतर काय आहे तिथे, इनपुट दिल्यानंतर पहिल्यांदा रेक्टिफायर आहे. ओके, म्हणजे जे काय आपण या टर्म्स देतोय, क्वांटिटीज देतोय, व्होल्टेज अँड करंट, दॅट टू क्वांटिटीज आर फर्स्ट रेक्टिफाईड देअर. ओके, मग पहिल्यांदा काय करतो आपण, VDC रीड करतोय. ओके, प्रोसेसर काय करतो, VDC पहिल्यांदा आपण रीड करतोय. VDC रीड केल्यानंतर तो VDC कन्वर्ट इनटू डिजिटल क्वांटिटी, कारण आपण सीटी आणि पीटी पासून ज्या काही क्वांटिटीज घेतोय त्या कशा आहेत, सगळ्या अॅनालॉग आहे. आपण जरी रेक्टिफाय केल्या तरी त्या कशा आहेत, अॅनालॉग आहेत. पण मायक्रो प्रोसेसरला चालतात का अॅनालॉग क्वांटिटीज? नाही. सो वी हॅव टू कन्वर्ट इट इनटू डिजिटल. ओके, त्यानंतर त्या प्रोसेसरच्या मेमरीमध्ये स्टोअर केल्या जातात. अगेन we will read this current quantity. Okay, again we'll read the current quantity. Then again it is converted into digital quantity. Okay, म्हणजे simply your voltage and current quantities are converted into the digital quantities and these are stored in the memory of your processor. Okay, प्रोसेसर. आता इथे काय करतात, तर आता व्ही अँड आय ॲज अ इनपुट आपल्याला मिळाले. मग आता आपल्याला काय करायला पाहिजे, झेड कॅल्क्युलेट करायला पाहिजे. झेड कसा कॅल्क्युलेट करणार, बाय युजिंग व्ही बाय आय. झेड इज इक्वल टू व्ही डिवायडेड बाय आय. ओके, करेक्ट, झेड इज इक्वल टू व्ही डिवायडेड बाय आय. पण दिस इज व्हॉट, दिस इज युअर फॉल्ट इम्पिडन्स. ओके, हा जो इम्पिडन्स आहे तो कसा आहे, फॉल्ट इम्पिडन्स आहे. ओके, मग आता कॅल्क्युलेट केला फॉल्ट इम्पिडन्स तुम्ही, कॅल्क्युलेट झेड. मग आता तिथे 3 झोन्स आहेत प्रोटेक्शनचे. वी हॅव सीन दॅट इन लास्ट लेक्चर. देर आर 3 झोन्स ऑफ प्रोटेक्शन, झोन 1, झोन 2 आणि झोन 3. झोन 1 मध्ये काय असते, रिले इन्स्टंटेनियसली ऑपरेट होतो, लगेच ऑपरेट होतो. झोन 2 मध्ये काय करतो आपण, थोडा वेळ देतो. झोन 2 मध्ये जर तो रिले नाही ऑपरेट झाला तर झोन 1 मध्ये जर नाही ऑपरेट झाला तर तो झोन 2 मध्ये तो रिले ऑपरेट होते फॉल्ट झाल्यानंतर. समजा झोन 2 मध्ये पण नाही झाला तर झोन 3 ला त्याच्यापेक्षा थोडं जास्त टायमिंग देतात, म्हणजे झोन 3 मधला रिले ऑपरेट होईल. ओके, म्हणजे फॉर एक्झाम्पल झोन 1 मधला रिले इन्स्टंटेनियसली ऑपरेट होते, झोन 2 मधला 0.2 मिली सेकंडला सपोज ऑपरेट होते, तर झोन 4 मधला कितीला असेल, 0.4 किंवा 0.5 मिली सेकंडला झोन 3 मधला रिले तुमचा ऑपरेट होईल. करेक्ट. ओके, आता इथे काय करतात, जो तुम्ही फॉल्ट इम्पिडन्स कॅल्क्युलेट केलेला आहे, जो फॉल्ट इम्पिडन्स आहे, तर दॅट फॉल्ट इम्पिडन्स इज कम्पेअर्ड विथ द इम्पिडन्स, म्हणजे सेट व्हॅल्यू नाही तिथे इम्पिडन्सची, बरोबर ना. वी हॅव सीन दॅट डायग्राम ऑल्सो फॉर द ट्रान्समिशन लाईन. ओके, आता हा झोन 1 आहे, तर झोन 1 मध्ये झेडएल ही सेट व्हॅल्यू इम्पिडन्सची, बरोबर. या सेट व्हॅल्यू पेक्षा इम्पिडन्स जर फॉल्ट इम्पिडन्स म्हणजे कमी झाला तर तुमचा रिले ऑपरेट होणार आहे. ओके, likewise in all 3 zones there are set values of the impedance. Okay, so if this value of zone 1 of the impedance in zone 1, okay, is greater than the fault impedance, then your relay will operate. Okay, your relay will operate. Similarly, if that relay will operate, then that signal will be given to the circuit breaker to open the contacts. Again, if this fails means if your fault impedance is not less than the zone 1 impedance. Okay, than the zone 1 impedance, then or I'll take some examples. Okay, suppose I'm taking as a general value. Okay, okay, suppose my fault impedance ZF is equal to 8. ZF is equal to 8, and here this Z1 is equal to 5. Z1 is equal to 5. So is my fault impedance ZF less than this 5? Yes or no? Yes or no? No, na? No. Then go to the next step. If yes, then you can directly go for the tripping of circuit breaker. Okay. Then similarly, now suppose I consider this zone 2 is set and suppose 7. Okay, zone 2 impedance is set at 7 ohm suppose. Okay, and your fault impedance is 8. Your fault impedance is 8. So is this less than this 7? No. Again, you can go for the zone 3. Then suppose this zone 3 impedance is suppose 9 and your fault impedance is equal to 8 ohm. Then tell me, so what is the how the relay will operate or not now? Yes. Now your fault impedance is 8. Fault impedance is 8. And the zone 3 impedance, set value of impedance is 9. And your fault impedance is less than this set value. Therefore, your relay will operate now. Okay. So in this way, you can do the same procedure. Okay. I hope now you understand this concept. Okay. So this is your microprocessor based impedance relay. Okay. So for today, we'll stop here. Thank you all and have a nice day. We'll see the next part in next lecture. Thank you. I'm ending lecture now.